There was a boy who had no mother or father. They had died, and he lived with his grandmother. But she was very old and couldn't watch him all the time. So the boy often skipped school. He came home only when he wanted food or sleep. The rest of the time he wandered around, stole apples from gardens, teased other kids, even adults. He also loved peeking into people's windows. He could spend minutes watching families with mothers and fathers. Sometimes, when he saw parents scolding their kids, he felt glad he had only a grandmother. But more often he grew angry seeing parents loving their children, spoiling them, giving them gifts. When he felt that anger, he threw a rock at a window and smashed it. It felt like he was smashing their happy lives too. But days later, returning to that window, he saw nothing had changed. People caught him a few times. Once they even beat him badly. But the boy still kept looking into windows. One day, far from home, he found a very old house. Kids can't be happy in a place like this, he thought. But when he peeked inside, he saw many children. They had a mother and a father. They had toys. They played together peacefully. Even the father played with them. The boy stepped back, grabbed a heavy rock, threw it, and ran. But after a few steps, he stopped. There was no sound of breaking glass. He threw another rock. He even saw it fly straight into the window, but instead of shattering the glass, the rock disappeared into it. As if the window was made of water. He threw more rocks. All vanished. When the boy came close again, he saw the whole family, children and adults, standing at the window staring straight at him, even though they shouldn't have been able to see him in the dark. Then he saw someone else in the room, something huge, with long tentacles like an octopus. It drifted to the window and looked at him, though it had no eyes. The boy suddenly felt like the window opened into the deep ocean. Then the tentacles reached through the glass toward him. He jumped back. The creature crawled out of the window, stretching its long limbs toward him again. The boy ran all the way home. It didn't chase him. Maybe it could live only in water. He told his grandmother about the monster. "I saw it on TV," he lied. "Don't be afraid," she said. "That's a chimera. They live at the bottom of the ocean. Even when they rise to the surface, they die." But the boy never went near that house again, and he tried to stay far away from any windows. Now every window seemed to open into ocean darkness. Then he saw the chimera again. The boy was standing near a toy store, looking at the display. Suddenly, the lights inside went out, and from the darkness behind the glass, the chimera floated toward him. It was waiting. Tentacles reached for him. The boy screamed and jumped back, bumping into a passerby. The man knocked him over, and the chimera's tentacles closed on empty air. "Hey kid, watch it," the man said, helping him up. The boy pointed at the store window, but the chimera was gone. At home, he covered his windows with paper before sleeping. Next day, when he went outside, every window showed the dark ocean depths, and the chimera waiting inside them, swimming from window to window, waiting for him to come close. "You'll never get me," the boy shouted at a window. The chimera didn't answer, but he felt it watching him. He avoided windows easily enough. At school, he sat at the desk farthest from them. At home, he asked his grandmother to cover the windows with paper or curtains. And the nearby shop had its windows painted over long ago. But the chimera kept watching from the windows that weren't covered. The next day it rained. Huge puddles were everywhere. The boy walked home, almost forgetting about the chimera. But he stayed cautious, avoiding houses. Then he stepped into a puddle, and his leg sank down to the knee. The puddle wasn't deep, but suddenly it opened into the ocean. He yanked his leg out. Tentacles were already rising from the hole. He ran, but the puddles were everywhere, and the chimera moved faster under the water. One tentacle grabbed his leg. "Help!" the boy screamed. People passing by didn't react. They moved slowly, smoothly, as if they were underwater. Another tentacle wrapped around his other leg. The boy fell. "Help!" he cried again. People looked around, searching for the source of the scream. They seemed confused. Then they raised their hands and pointed at him. "Help! He screamed once more, but the people only stared silently. They had no mouths, no eyes, and instead of hands, twisting tentacles.